Stand up and face the truth that the world only gives to those who demand it. The wealthiest people, the most unstoppable achievers, they are not passive wishers lost in the crowd. They are bold, deliberate architects of their own future. And the blueprint always begins with the spoken word. The act of declaring your goals, not in timid whispers, but with ironclad certainty, is the first spark that sets the machinery of success into motion. Too many drift through life in silence, hiding ambitions in the attic of their minds, shackled by fear of judgment or disappointment. They misunderstand a secret so few are willing to practice. Words, when forged with purpose and uttered with belief, are not mere sounds. They are seeds. And just as no harvest grows where no seed is planted, so too does no destiny unfold where no vision is spoken. You must understand the power of the voice. Before a single fortune was amassed, before a single empire rose, before any man or woman became exceptional, there was a spoken decree, a decision made vocal, a vision transformed from abstract longing into a living, vibrating command sent out to the universe. The spoken goal becomes a contract, not only with yourself, but with reality itself. When you speak your goals, you signal your intent not just to your own subconscious mind, but to every circumstance, every opportunity, every force within earshot. The wealthiest people do not mumble their wishes or share their intentions only when convenient. They proclaim their targets clearly, directly, unwaveringly. By making their desires public, even if only to themselves, they set in motion invisible forces that conspire to make their words true. The mind, when trained, responds to declaration like a disciplined army. The moment you articulate a goal out loud, you mobilize your faculties. You activate the mental machinery required to build a bridge from your present reality to your envisioned future. That is why your self-talk, your daily affirmations, your willingness to repeat your desires, morning and night, in solitude or in the company of giants, is the very foundation of achievement. Silence breeds confusion. Clarity comes from articulation. If you are not in the habit of speaking your goals, you will forever be enslaved by the goals of others who are louder, braver, and more intentional. Do not be timid. Write your goals. Speak your goals. Announce your aims to the only person whose permission you need, yourself. You must also know that words spoken with conviction are the fuel for action. Goals that exist only in the mind are ethereal. They have no weight, no roots. Once they are given form through speech, they become real, tangible, something the subconscious cannot ignore. The wealthiest people make a ritual of this. They repeat their vision daily, not as desperate hope, but as inevitable truth. This repetition is not superstition, it is programming. The more you say it, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, the more you act in accordance with it. Repetition is the hammer that drives belief into the bedrock of your character. Do not confuse this practice with idle boasting. The spoken goal is not about impressing others or inflating your ego. It is about commanding your focus and reminding yourself in the clearest terms of what you demand from life. The world responds to those who are certain about what they want, and certainty is sharpened every time you vocalize your intention. The wealthiest are relentless in this. They do not shrink back when challenged, nor do they alter their goals to fit the comfort of the crowd. Instead, their declarations become their compass, orienting every thought, every decision, every opportunity. They know the words you choose to repeat are the bricks that pave your path to fortune. Begin now. Stand in front of a mirror and speak your greatest ambition out loud. Feel the resistance, the discomfort. This is your former self protesting. Ignore it. Speak again, this time with more certainty. Write your goal down and read it daily. Make it the first thing you say in the morning and the last thing you whisper at night. Insist on this practice until your words feel like truth. The greatest fortunes began as spoken declarations that seemed impossible to lesser minds. Those who speak their goals into existence bend reality to their will, one syllable at a time. You may encounter doubters, cynics, and those who mock the power of words. Ignore them. Their disbelief is a mirror of their own limitations, not yours. The wealthiest people are always outnumbered by the comfortable, the cautious, the critics who never dared to say what they wanted from life. The difference between you and them must be your willingness to state with conviction exactly where you are going and how much you will have. The universe does not reward the mute. It rewards the bold, the persistent, the speakers who refuse to accept less than their stated aim. Every time you speak your goal, you build a bridge between thought and action. You cement your desires into your psyche, making them impossible to ignore. Action follows intention, and intention is solidified by declaration. You will find, as you repeat your aims, that your mind will begin to work on your behalf, seeking ways, creating opportunities, attracting people and resources aligned with your vision. This is not mysticism, it is the science of self-leadership. You become what you repeatedly declare yourself to be. Your life will expand or contract in direct proportion to the size and clarity of your spoken vision. Let this be your commandment. Speak your goals as if they are already in motion, as if the world is conspiring to assist you, as if every word is a contract that reality is obligated to fulfill. Refuse to let another day slip by in silent wishing. Refuse to let your dreams gather dust in the attic of your mind. Speak them into the daylight, where they can be tested, strengthened, and ultimately achieved. The wealthiest people do not leave their future to chance. They engineer it one declaration at a time. Remember, the first step toward wealth of any kind is to declare that you will have it. Say it boldly, say it often, and let the echo of your conviction become the rhythm of your days. The world is waiting to hear what you truly want. Speak, and watch how the doors begin to open, the paths begin to clear, and the very fabric of fate bends in your favor. If you are truly determined to rise, you must grasp that your words carry an authority far greater than you have ever dared to believe. Most men and women wander through their days as prisoners of small talk, wasting their greatest tool, language, on the trivial, the mundane, the negative. Meanwhile, the wealthy, the world shapers, those who leave a mark so deep it outlives them, have long known that words are more than noise. Words are instructions issued to the mind, blueprints sent to the subconscious, and seeds that, if watered by daily repetition, can split rock and crack open even the toughest soil of circumstance. This is not theory. It is the unvarnished law of achievement. The fortunes of the self-made are almost always preceded by a season of intense, unyielding affirmation, spoken aloud, written boldly, repeated relentlessly. You must become a master of self-suggestion. Every sentence you speak about your own goal shapes your self-concept, your mood, your energy, and ultimately your destiny. Let the world busy itself with idle gossip and complaints. You, on the other hand, will create your future with discipline and precision, sentence by sentence, until what you say and what you live are one and the same. This is how the wealthiest separate themselves from the herd. While others chatter about problems, the wealthy articulate solutions, outcomes, intentions, and visions. Your mind is always listening. The spoken word is the key that unlocks the door to new habits, new beliefs, and new levels of action. Understand this. Your mind cannot ignore repeated commands. The more you say, I am building wealth, I am creating opportunity, I am attracting prosperity, the more your mind bends your behavior, your perception, and your expectations toward those ends. This is not about empty bravado. It is about burning your desires into your consciousness until they become as natural as breathing. The wealthiest do not merely dream. They direct their inner world with the spoken word, knowing that what is repeated with passion and belief becomes reality. If you lack clarity, your words will reflect it and your results will show it. The poor and the mediocre mutter their goals in half-hearted tones, apologizing for wanting more, hoping not to offend those content with less. The wealthy are unapologetic. They name their ambitions plainly, giving them shape and substance in the physical world. They do not disguise their intent behind vague language. I want more money becomes, I will earn a six-figure income this year through my business and investments. I want to be successful. Transforms into, I will build a business that dominates my field and provides solutions no one else can. Such statements become declarations. Declarations become commands. Commands become reality. Never underestimate the power of specificity. General wishes are ignored by the subconscious and quickly forgotten by the world. Specific goals, spoken out loud, are burned into your reticular activating system, a part of your brain that filters information and brings relevant data, opportunities, and connections to your conscious attention. The wealthy are skilled at programming this filter. They bombard it daily with precise, vivid affirmations of what they seek, and the mind, obedient servant that it is, begins to notice openings and opportunities that would otherwise remain invisible. The path to wealth is paved with intention, and intention must be spoken to be set into motion. Do not allow fear to silence your ambition. There is a social pressure, often subtle, sometimes brutal, that seeks to make you small, to keep you silent, to punish boldness with ridicule or envy. Ignore it. The critics are always the loudest when they feel threatened by the sound of someone daring to aim higher. The wealthiest know that silence is complicity with mediocrity. Speak your aim even if your voice trembles. Speak it even if your past is full of failure. Speak it until your words become iron. The discipline of daily affirmation, spoken with conviction, will gradually drown out your doubts and the doubts of others. You must train your tongue to serve you, not sabotage you. Too many people let their words betray them. I can't do this. I never catch a break. Success is for others. Every negative statement, every self-diminishing joke is a seed that grows into a weed, choking out your progress. The wealthy are vigilant gatekeepers of their own speech. They refuse to utter a single sentence that contradicts their aims. When setbacks occur, and they always do, the wealthy do not announce defeat. They state, this is a lesson. This is progress. I am getting closer. The difference is subtle but decisive. Words are the script that the mind follows, and the mind is a faithful actor, never missing a line. Harness the morning, for it is then that your mind is most receptive. Begin each day by stating your goal out loud. Repeat it until your entire being hums with its vibration. Write it down as you speak it, engraving it upon your consciousness. Visualize your success as you verbalize it, seeing, hearing, and feeling its reality. The greatest fortunes have been built on this discipline. Before Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, or Thomas Edison became giants in their industries, They became giants in their minds through daily, relentless spoken affirmation. They were not waiting for external validation. They declared themselves successful long before the world recognized their results. Let your environment reflect your intention. Surround yourself with reminders of your spoken goal, notes, signs, affirmations that greet you at every turn. Speak your ambition to those who support you and, just as importantly, speak it to yourself when you are alone and tempted to doubt. Your belief will be tested. The silence of the night will ask you, are you sure? Your answer must always be spoken, always affirmative, always unwavering. The wealthy do not let their faith waver in private. Their spoken goals become their shield against uncertainty. You may wonder if this practice can really change your life. The evidence is all around you. The men and women whose names are etched in history books all began as ordinary individuals who dared to declare extraordinary visions. They spoke their future into existence when no one else could see it. Their words became a call to action for themselves, for their teams, for the universe itself. They understood what you must accept now. Fortune is attracted to those who have the courage to state their claim on it. Action flows naturally from the well of spoken intention. Once your goal is on your lips, you will find yourself compelled to act in accordance with it. You will start noticing people who can help you, resources you need, knowledge you must acquire. You will be pulled forward by your own words, unable to stand still, unwilling to retreat. The world steps aside for the man or woman who knows where they are going and dares to say it. Your habits will change. Your circle will change. Your reputation will change, all to match the level of your spoken goal. Never stop this practice. As you reach one milestone, immediately set and declare the next. The wealthy do not rest on past victories. They use their spoken goals to stretch their vision, to avoid stagnation, to keep moving forward. The moment you stop speaking your ambitions, you start drifting toward complacency. Life will tempt you with comfort, but comfort is the enemy of greatness. The discipline of daily spoken affirmation is your safeguard against settling for less. Speak your desires into existence until they become reality. Let every word be a step, every sentence a rung in the ladder that lifts you above the ordinary. The world will adjust to your standard only when you set it, loudly, clearly, repeatedly. If you want wealth, if you want greatness, if you want a life that defies the expectations of the masses, you must become a master at speaking your goals into existence. Begin now. Your fortune waits on the other side of your declaration. The mind, once convinced, moves mountains. But the mind does not become convinced by mere wishes or by half-hearted ideas spoken once and quickly forgotten. It is the daily, direct, deliberate command, repeated again and again until it burns itself into your very marrow, that begins to direct the tides of circumstance in your favor. Now is the moment to move from the vague to the vivid, from weak intentions to unbreakable determination. When you speak your goal, say it with finality. Let there be no room for ambiguity. Ambition without declaration is like lightning sealed in a bottle, potential without power. The wealthy unleash their ambition into the world, not as a gentle suggestion, but as a bold command. As you deepen the discipline of spoken intention, recognize this universal law. You cannot consistently speak one thing and do another. The man who daily declares, I am building a great fortune, will, by the law of subconscious guidance, start aligning his actions, habits, and choices with that statement. The woman who tells herself, I am becoming indispensable in my field, begins to seek knowledge, connections, and opportunities that reinforce her declaration. Your words become a prophecy, a self-fulfilling engine that cannot be stopped by circumstance, only by your own silence. But here is where most falter. They underestimate the resistance that will arise, both within and without. Doubt will creep in. Old voices, internal and external, will mock your ambition and try to draw you back to the ordinary. You must respond with even greater conviction. Increase the frequency and force of your spoken goals. Drown out the noise of negativity with the thunder of your own determination. Remember, persistence in speaking your aims is the chisel that shapes your mind into an unshakable instrument of wealth creation. Every morning, start by commanding your mind, "Today, I advance toward my goal. Today, I will find the opportunity, the connection, the breakthrough that brings me closer." Throughout the day, when distraction threatens, repeat your statement with vigor. Do not let a single day pass in silence. The wealthiest people do not rely on inspiration. They manufacture it with their mouths. This is how you turn the extraordinary into the inevitable. The world must first hear from you what you desire before it can respond with opportunities. Consider the environment you build for yourself. Are you surrounded by reminders of your aim or by echoes of limitation? The wealthy curate their surroundings to reinforce their spoken goals. Every object, every note, every book becomes a tool to direct their mind toward their purpose. They leave no room for randomness. The average person lets life happen to them. The wealthy direct life with their words and their focus. Place your goals where you can see and say them often. Let them become as familiar as your own reflection. As your self-talk grows stronger, you will notice something remarkable. Your self-respect will rise. The individual who commits to speaking their intentions with clarity develops a backbone that cannot be bent by criticism or failure. You will stop apologizing for your ambition. You will stop negotiating with mediocrity. The wealthiest do not seek the world's permission to become great. They instruct the world with every word, every action, every result. Your spoken word is your contract with yourself. Keep it, and the world will be forced to honor it as well. Do not confuse this discipline with arrogance. True wealth is not loud for the sake of noise, but for the sake of direction. When you declare your intentions, you are not bragging, you are orienting your spirit. You are teaching yourself to expect more, demand more, and prepare for more. There is no shame in raising your standard. There is only tragedy in lowering your standard to appease those who are content to drift. Let us examine the role of doubt, for it is the greatest enemy of the spoken goal. Doubt festers in silence. It multiplies when you keep your aims private, secret, hidden behind a mask of indifference. The wealthiest people know that speaking their goals, especially to themselves, is the most effective weapon against self-sabotage. When your inner critic whispers, "You can't do it," respond out loud, "I am doing it, and nothing will stop me." Do this consistently, and you will find the voice of doubt growing weaker, while the voice of certainty becomes the dominant force in your mind. As your goals become more real to you, because you have spoken them so many times, they will start to become real to others. You will attract allies, mentors, partners, and investors who resonate with your conviction. The world moves toward confidence. When you speak your aims with authority, you become a magnet for the resources and relationships that make achievement possible. This is why the greatest fortunes often seem to gather momentum out of nowhere. The truth is, momentum begins in the mind, but it is triggered by the spoken word. You must be willing to repeat your intention even when there is no evidence of progress, especially then. The discipline of consistency is what separates the wealthy from the wishful. The poor give up their goals at the first sign of difficulty. The wealthy become more vocal, more intense, more precise. Every setback becomes a signal to double down, to reaffirm the destination. In time, the tide turns. The persistent voice, steady, unwavering, wears down resistance, both internal and external, until the path is clear. Do not waste time justifying your goal to others who refuse to dream. Their approval is not required. Their understanding is not necessary. What matters is your own unwavering commitment to speak your aim into existence, to let your vision fill the air until it cannot be ignored. Greatness requires audacity. You must be willing to be misunderstood, doubted, even mocked, while you are constructing your fortune with your words. The rewards, when they come, are for those who refuse to be silenced. The final law is this: what you repeatedly speak, you eventually believe, and what you believe, you become. The tongue is a small muscle, but it steers the entire course of your life. Use it with care, with courage, and with purpose. Declare your intention at every opportunity. Write it, read it, speak it, live it. Let your words echo in your mind long after the world has fallen silent. The habit of verbal affirmation is not for the timid. It is for those who dare to claim a place among the wealthiest and most influential. The world belongs to those who speak their desires with such force and frequency that reality itself must adjust to accommodate them. Refuse to let your goals die in silence. Speak and keep speaking until what was once a whisper of possibility becomes the roar of inevitability. You are the architect, the builder, and the voice that summons wealth into your world. Make every word count. Let every day begin and end with the declaration of your vision. The path to wealth is paved with words. Lay your bricks with intention, and soon others will walk the road you have built. Great wealth is not the product of chance or privilege, nor is it handed down by fate to a chosen few. It is constructed with the unwavering bricks of conscious intention and mortared with the discipline of self-affirmation. You cannot wait for wealth to notice you. You must pursue it, call it by name, and summon it into your experience by commanding the very energy you emit, the thoughts you repeat, and the words you declare. If your aim is greatness, then speak with the authority of one who knows that his voice matters. Let no false humility, no fear of being misunderstood, no old echo of mediocrity silence your ambition. Life responds to those who declare what they want as if they already possess it. As you continue to harness the immense power of spoken affirmation, understand that every time you vocalize your intent, you plant a seed in your subconscious. The subconscious mind is not a passive observer. It is an active partner in creation. It listens to your every word, takes direction from your every affirmation, and works tirelessly to bring into reality that which you repeat with conviction. Whether you speak of abundance or lack, achievement or defeat, the subconscious will serve your command without judgment. The difference between those who rise and those who remain where they are is simply the quality and persistence of the instructions they give to their minds. To train your subconscious, you must be vigilant and unrelenting in the words you choose. Never allow the language of doubt or limitation to cross your lips. Guard your tongue as you would guard your fortune, for it is the tool that will make your fortune real. Speak of your aims, your dreams, your desired level of wealth, not as possibilities, but as certainties. Instead of saying, "I hope to become wealthy," declare, "I am becoming wealthier every day." This single shift in language transforms a hope into a command and forces your mind to seek proof and evidence to support that command. In time, your actions, decisions, and circumstances will begin to align with the new narrative you have written for yourself. Understand the world's tendency to resist bold declarations. The majority, conditioned by generations of small thinking and quiet dreams, will try to convince you that humility means keeping your goals hidden. Do not be seduced by this subtle poison. Humility is not hiding your light. It is keeping your ego in check while you burn brighter than ever. You owe it to your future to be clear, direct, and unapologetic about what you are creating. Speak your aims not only for yourself, but as an example to others, so they too may awaken the sleeping giant within them. Now, focus on the principle of emotional charge. Words without feeling are hollow. Words charged with belief, desire, and expectation become living forces that shape reality. When you speak your goals, infuse your tone with the same certainty you would use to state your name or declare the rising of the sun. Practice saying your affirmations in front of a mirror. Watch your own eyes and see the conviction grow. The world believes in those who believe in themselves first. Emotion is the magnet. Words are the command. The repetition of self-affirming language is not a single event, but a lifelong practice. The wealthiest never stop reminding themselves of their vision. They never stop declaring their intentions to their inner world, even when the outer world seems to lag behind. This is the difference between the temporary dabbler and the inevitable achiever. Consistency of focus, discipline of speech, and refusal to let circumstances dictate the language of possibility. You must outlast the world's resistance with your daily declarations. As your inner belief solidifies, your outer actions will grow bolder and more purposeful. The mind that has been trained by spoken intention ceases to hesitate. It recognizes opportunity in the smallest details and moves with clarity. You will find yourself approaching challenges with greater confidence, making decisions with more authority, and dismissing distractions that once derailed your progress. The act of speaking your goals into existence is not a trick or a parlor game. It is the psychological lever that tips the scales in your favor. Those who refuse to speak boldly will remain servants to their own hesitation. There is another law at work here, the law of association. As you declare your ambitions, you will attract both supporters and skeptics. The wealthy do not fear criticism. Instead, they use it as a tool to strengthen their resolve. Each time you are questioned, challenged, or doubted, take the opportunity to reinforce your spoken aim with even greater conviction. Do not allow the small minds of others to shrink your vision. You must become immune to the chorus of mediocrity. The world changes only when enough people refuse to be silenced by the noise of conformity. The wealthy also surround themselves with those who speak their own goals aloud. They seek out allies who are not afraid of ambition, and they build networks of people who energize rather than drain their intentions. When your spoken goal collides with another spoken goal, a synergy is born that propels both forward. There is no virtue in struggling alone. Seek out those who understand the power of self-declaration, and let your ambitions fuel one another. Let us talk of the subtle danger of self-sabotage. If you find yourself repeatedly unable to say your aim aloud, if you flinch or hesitate, understand that there is a limiting belief hidden in your subconscious. Do not ignore it. Confront it head on. Say your intention even if your voice shakes. Speak it when you are alone. Speak it when you are afraid. Speak it when you are tired. Every utterance chips away at the stone of doubt. Eventually, you will break through, and what was once an uncomfortable exercise will become your second nature. Commit to rituals that reinforce your spoken word. Write your affirmations each morning and evening. Record them and play them back to yourself during quiet moments. Visualize yourself achieving the wealth you declare, and narrate the process as if it is happening now. Every layer of reinforcement strengthens your resolve and sharpens your focus. You are reprogramming your mind for affluence, one word at a time. As the days pass, you will notice something extraordinary. The world will begin to echo your spoken intentions. Opportunities will arise where none existed before. People and resources will gravitate toward you, drawn by the magnetic force of your conviction. What was once difficult will become effortless. The universe rewards those who speak with purpose and consistency. You will develop a reputation, not just for confidence, but for effectiveness. You will become known as the person who delivers, who manifests, who creates wealth out of spoken vision. In these moments, guard against complacency. Do not allow early success to silence your declarations. The most dangerous time is not when you are struggling, but when you begin to win. The discipline of self-affirmation is lifelong. Those who achieve great fortunes do not outgrow their rituals. They deepen them. Every new level of wealth requires a new level of clarity and command. You must never stop declaring your aims, for new ambitions will always arise. To those who think this practice is beneath them or unnecessary, consider this. Every monument of achievement, every empire, every breakthrough began as an idea spoken aloud by someone who refused to let the world dictate what was possible. The spoken word is the lever that moves worlds. Refuse to let your ambition remain locked inside your mind. Speak it with power, and the doors to wealth will swing open. This is the path of the wealthy. It is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It is available to any who will train their mind, control their tongue, and commit to the discipline of daily self-command. You are never at the mercy of circumstance. With each word, you are shaping the very reality in which you live. Raise your standard, declare your intention, and become the architect of your fortune. In the end, the difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not talent, nor education, nor birthright. It is the courage to speak their aims into existence and to keep speaking until the world cannot help but listen and deliver. To attain the heights that few ever reach, you must become relentless in the practice of speaking your aims into existence. Let us push past the surface of mere affirmation and delve into the mechanics of how this power transforms the mind. For the wealthiest among us do not simply wish or whisper. They command their destiny with the unwavering authority of conviction. Every declaration you make sends a clear, resounding message to both your subconscious mind and the universe itself. I will not settle for mediocrity. I demand abundance, and I am willing to call it forth with every fiber of my being. Examine the world around you, and you will notice that those who wield real influence, who draw opportunity, fortune, and allies to their side, are those who do not shy away from self-assertion. They are not apologetic about their goals. They do not mumble about possibility. They state their vision as if it is already unfolding, as if the ink is already dry on the contract of their future. This unwavering self-belief is not arrogance. It is the standard that must be set if you are to be counted among the true builders of wealth. Your words are not thrown into the void. They are instructions, blueprints, and signals that guide your every perception, choice, and action. The mind, like a loyal servant, does not debate your orders. It carries them out with precision, aligning your focus and habits with the vision you have spoken. When you say, I am a magnet for wealth, you awaken every dormant faculty within you to seek evidence of wealth. You begin to notice resources and solutions previously hidden from your distracted gaze. The world is not lacking in opportunity. It is simply waiting for you to become the person who is bold enough to claim it out loud. Yet, here is a principle seldom discussed but essential to master. The compounding power of repetition. One declaration is a spark. Daily repetition is a raging fire that cannot be extinguished. Every day that you repeat your aims with full intent and presence, you dig the groove of wealth deeper into your mind until it becomes the path of least resistance. There comes a day when you will speak your goal not as a task to remember, but as a natural extension of your character. At that moment, what you seek will begin to seek you, for you have become the embodiment of your own affirmation. Do not be lulled by the seductive inertia of comfort. The path to wealth is littered with the remnants of those who grew satisfied with mere comfort and stopped demanding more. When you see results, speak bigger goals. When you hit a plateau, declare a new summit to conquer. The mind left unchallenged will stagnate, but the mind stretched by constant self-command will outgrow every limitation. The wealthiest people in any age never retire their affirmations. They simply scale them to fit their expanding vision. You must also recognize the importance of specificity in your declarations. The universe responds to clarity. Do not make your goals vague or ambiguous. State the amount, the date, the form of wealth you seek. Precision turns desire into directive. Vague wishes breed vague results, while specific declarations carve out a path that your mind cannot help but follow. Discipline is required, not only in the practice of speaking your goals, but in the refusal to utter defeatist language. The wealthiest guard their speech with the vigilance of a sentry at the gate. They do not allow words of doubt, lack, or self-pity to pollute their mental soil. When setbacks occur, and they will, respond not with despair, but with an even more determined declaration. This obstacle only strengthens my resolve. I am unstoppable. In the crucible of adversity, your words are the hammer that forges resilience. Surround yourself with an environment that reflects your verbal ambition. Do not waste energy arguing with those who scoff at your declarations or warn you of disappointment. Their world is not your world. Seek the company of those who talk of ideas, vision, and future victories, not gossip, complaint, or the weather. When your environment is charged with the language of creation, your mind is shielded against mediocrity's silent creep. Let us discuss the deeper workings of the subconscious. When you repeat your wealth goals aloud each morning and night, you activate a process known as autosuggestion. This is not idle daydreaming. It is the active programming of your internal operating system. Your subconscious, bombarded with your dominant thoughts, will begin to filter your reality for information, connections, and actions that align with your spoken aim. You will coincidentally meet people who can help, stumble upon opportunities, and recognize patterns others overlook. This is not magic. It is the law of focused attention, made powerful by verbal command. But the greatest test of this principle is not in the easy seasons, but in the storm. There will be days when doubt claws at your certainty, when your results lag behind your expectations. On those days, it is not enough to think positively. You must speak with double force. The sound of your own voice will often be the only anchor in a sea of uncertainty. Those who persist through these tempests, who keep declaring their aims even when the world offers no visible proof, are those who return from the storm with the treasures that others only dream of. Remember, your declarations are not a performance for others. They are a contract with yourself. The world is indifferent to empty boasting, but it is irresistibly drawn to the one who is quietly, consistently, and unyieldingly clear about what he intends to build. It is your conviction, not your volume, that moves mountains. Consider also the subtle ways your spoken word influences those around you. When you articulate your vision with passion, others feel it in their bones. You will inspire confidence in investors, partners, and clients long before you have the results to prove your worth. People are drawn to those who are going somewhere, who know who they are and what they are about. Your self-command becomes a magnet for resources and allies. Wealth flows first to those who make it easy for others to believe in them. To sustain this discipline, create rituals. Begin and end each day by speaking your goals aloud. Write them in your journal, review them during moments of doubt, and share them with trusted allies who will hold you accountable. Turn your affirmations into questions when necessary. What am I doing today that brings me closer to my financial aim? Let your words not only declare, but interrogate, challenge, and demand progress. Do not fall into the trap of thinking you must be perfect. The discipline of spoken affirmation is not about pretending to be infallible, but about persisting despite imperfections. When you slip, catch yourself and immediately redirect your language to match your vision. Progress, not perfection, is the true measure of greatness. Never underestimate the power of patience. The world's greatest fortunes were not amassed overnight, but day by day, declaration by declaration, brick by brick. Each time you speak your aim, you move one step closer, and you train your mind to expect, seek, and eventually receive the abundance you have called forth. If you are tempted to quit, speak that much louder. If you are misunderstood, clarify your aim and keep moving forward. The journey to great wealth is paved not with idle hope, but with determined speech and action. You are not merely shaping your own future. You are setting a new standard for what is possible for those who come after you. Let your voice ring out as a beacon for others, proving that fortune belongs to those who are bold enough to speak it into being. Command your mind. Command your destiny. The world is waiting for your next declaration. Make it worthy of your ambition, and never, ever stop. Great achievement does not favor the timid, the silent, or the vague. It is drawn irresistibly to those who make their intentions known with such clarity and conviction that life itself seems to bend in their direction. Having come this far, understand that the final secret, the one that separates wishers from achievers and the merely ambitious from the truly wealthy, is the discipline of living each day as the living embodiment of your spoken goal. This is no mere theory. It is the code of conduct by which all self-made wealth has been amassed, and it is a code you must inscribe into your daily existence. The principle is simple. Act every moment as if your affirmation is already a fact, not a fantasy. Do not retreat into daydreams or let your desires exist only as words. Make your thoughts flesh, your ambitions, habits, your goals a living reality in every choice and gesture. If you have declared yourself a creator of wealth, let your behavior prove it. If you say you are attracting abundance, then let your actions radiate that confidence in your dealings, your decisions, your discipline. Look around and you will see that the most magnetic individuals, the true architects of prosperity, are never waiting for permission or validation. They do not ask, will it work for me? Or what if I fail? Instead, they move through life as though the world is already responding to their call. Their belief is so absolute that hesitation has no room to settle in their spirit. You must develop this mental posture until it is second nature, a habit so strong that even setbacks and ridicule cannot shake your certainty. How do you cultivate this habit? Start by refusing to let external circumstances dictate your internal dialogue. The world will always test your resolve. It will throw obstacles, criticism, even betrayal into your path. This is the crucible in which your will is tempered. The wealthiest people do not collapse under the weight of external opposition. They rise above it repeating their affirmation even more boldly when the world tries to silence them. Every adversity is answered with a louder, clearer, more specific declaration of intent. That is the unbreakable cycle. Life throws its worst. You respond with your best. You must also realize that your words not only shape your actions, but they subtly recondition your entire environment. When you consistently speak your wealth goals, without apology, without wavering, others adjust their perception of you. Business partners take you seriously. Opportunities are offered that would not otherwise come. Even those who doubt you will eventually begin to treat you with the respect owed to someone who knows where he is going. There is a unique gravitational pull to the individual who carries the certainty of his vision as naturally as he breathes. Remember, discipline is not only about repetition, but about progression. With every milestone reached, do not simply repeat the old affirmation. Refine it. Make it more precise, more daring. Challenge yourself to grow into ever larger visions. The wealthiest are never static. They are constantly upgrading their self-concept, expanding their goals, and speaking new realities into being. To rest on a single affirmation is to fall into the comfort trap that claims so many. Instead, let each success become the launching pad for a new, bolder declaration. Guard your mind from the poison of other people's opinions. Most individuals are not trained in this discipline. They are ruled by fear, envy, and the narrow limits of their own imagination. They will mock your declarations, urge you to be realistic, and warn you of disappointment. Ignore them. Your mind is your fortress, and your spoken word is its strongest wall. Allow only those whose ambitions are equal to or greater than your own to enter your inner circle. Isolation is preferable to the company of the faithless. Here is another unspoken truth. Your goals must be spoken with emotional energy. Dry, mechanical recitation accomplishes little. The mind is moved by passion. Speak your affirmations with feeling, as if the results are already flooding into your life. Let excitement, gratitude, and certainty color your words until your whole being vibrates with the expectation of fulfillment. It is this emotional charge that gives your words creative power, impressing them upon the subconscious so deeply that they are carried out automatically without friction or resistance. Your environment matters. Create rituals that reinforce your declarations. Write your goals and place them where you see them daily, on your desk, your mirror, your dashboard. Use reminders that prompt you to pause and reaffirm your vision. These physical cues serve as anchors, pulling your mind back to your purpose when distractions arise. The wealthiest people design their environments to support their mental posture. They do not leave success to chance. They engineer it, both internally and externally. As your discipline grows, you will experience moments of breakthrough. Seemingly impossible barriers will yield, unexpected opportunities will arise, and new allies will appear at the perfect time. Do not dismiss these as luck. They are the result of an invisible process that you have set in motion by the steady, persistent declaration of your intent. The world rearranges itself to accommodate the demands of the one who refuses to be denied. It is critical to act swiftly when opportunity presents itself. The wealthiest people are men and women of action. When the door cracks open, they do not hesitate. Their minds are primed by their spoken goals, so they recognize the moment and seize it before it slips away. Too many are caught flat-footed, waiting for certainty, paralyzed by indecision. Do not let this be your story. Let your words prepare you for the moment of decision, so that when your chance comes, you move without doubt or delay. In this journey, humility must balance your confidence. Speak your goals not as a boast, but as a vow to yourself and the world. The greatest among us do not declare for the sake of impressing others. They declare because they know that all creation begins in the mind and flows out through the spoken word. Let your affirmation be a promise you are determined to keep, a bond as sacred as any oath. Reflect often on your progress. Take time to measure how far you have come, what affirmations have borne fruit, and what new declarations are now required for the next level. Complacency is the enemy of the visionary. The wealthiest people regularly review and upgrade their mental programming, staying one step ahead of stagnation and mediocrity. Make this a lifelong habit, and you will never be overtaken by events. You will always be the master, never the victim. Never forget that your words are not just for yourself. As you build and grow, your example becomes a guide for others. Speak encouragement into those who struggle. Teach them the power of this principle, and lift as you climb. There is no greater wealth than to inspire others to rise alongside you. True abundance is shared, not hoarded. In helping others speak their goals into existence, you amplify your own. Let every day end with gratitude for the progress you have made, no matter how small. Affirmation without appreciation becomes empty ritual. Celebrate your discipline, acknowledge your growth, and rest in the certainty that your spoken word is shaping tomorrow even as you sleep. You are not merely hoping for success. You are commanding it, shaping it, demanding it. This is the way of the wealthiest, and now it is your way as well. Rise each morning with the discipline to declare your intentions. Move through each day with the focus to act on them, and retire each night knowing you have left nothing to chance. The world belongs to those who speak their goals into existence and live as if the result is already assured. Go forward now and become the living proof that this principle works for anyone who is bold enough to use it without hesitation, compromise, or apology. The story of your wealth is being written each day. Write it with your words, sign it with your actions, and seal it with the unwavering belief that your destiny is yours to command. As you approach the summit of this philosophy, you must recognize that speaking your goals into existence is not a single event, but an unending process, a rhythm, a pulse, a heartbeat of success that never ceases. It is the defining trait of those who outlast adversity, outgrow their circumstances, and outdistance their competition. The majority live their lives on mute, their desires whispered quietly to themselves, their ambitions hidden for fear of judgment or ridicule. But the exceptional, the wealthy in every sense, have discovered the audacity to live loudly and purposefully, making every utterance a command to the universe and a reminder to themselves. To live by this principle is to strip away all pretense and face yourself with uncompromising honesty. This is the crucible where character is forged, not in the moment of victory, but in the quiet repetition of purpose, even when nothing seems to be changing. It is easy to speak your goals with confidence when your bank account is rising, when applause surrounds you, and when every effort seems to pay off. But the true test comes when the evidence of progress is nowhere in sight. Will you persist in declaring your aim when the world appears indifferent? The answer must be yes. This is the ultimate discipline, to state your vision as a reality, especially when reality seems to contradict you. Each day is an opportunity to reinforce or undermine your destiny. Each thought you speak, each intention you repeat, carves another groove in your subconscious mind. Neglect this practice, and the world's noise will creep in, blurring your focus and weakening your resolve. But commit fully, speak your goal aloud each morning, act in alignment with it through the day, review it with gratitude each night, and you will build a force within yourself that no outside opposition can touch. Understand, too, that your spoken word sets into motion a series of invisible processes. The world rearranges itself for the determined. Doors you could not see before begin to open. People you never expected become alive. Resources you did not know you needed appear just as you require them. This is not wishful thinking. It is the natural result of cause and effect. Speak with unwavering intent, act with discipline, and the world must respond. Even in moments of apparent failure, the habit of affirmation transforms obstacles into stepping stones. This power grows with use. It is not enough to declare your vision once and then retreat into old habits. You must live your declaration, inhabit it, breathe it, until it becomes the natural rhythm of your being. Every conversation, every choice, every plan becomes a reflection of your affirmation. When others ask what you are working toward, you answer not with vague wishes, but with the certainty of one who is already on the path. You do not ask for permission or approval. You do not wait for the world to believe in you. You believe in yourself so completely, so publicly, that doubt cannot take root. You must also protect your spoken intentions from the doubters and cynics who will try to undermine you. Not everyone is worthy of hearing your vision. Share your goals only with those who support your growth, who encourage your ambition, who challenge you to rise higher. This is not secrecy, but wisdom. As I had warned you, a mind too open to negative influence quickly loses its strength. Guard your mental garden as fiercely as you would your fortune. Feed it only what makes you stronger. As you progress, learn to refine your declarations. What you affirm today may need to evolve as you grow. Allow your vision to expand, to become more precise, more daring. Wealth is not a destination, but a journey of continual self-creation. Each success should inspire a new declaration, each victory the launch pad for even greater ambition. The truly wealthy never become complacent. They are always stretching the boundaries of what is possible. Another key to mastery is to link your spoken goals to immediate, concrete actions. The mind, when left alone with only words, can become distracted or disillusioned. But when your words are fused with deliberate steps, you create an unbreakable bond between vision and reality. If you say you will create wealth, back it with bold investments in yourself, learning, networking, producing, serving, innovating. Affirmation without execution is the emptiest of rituals. But affirmation that drives daily action is the engine of compounding results. You must also learn to speak your goals into existence, not just for yourself, but for those you lead, love, and influence. A leader's words are seeds planted in the minds of others. Teach your family, your colleagues, your community the power of positive declaration. Encourage them to set their own intentions, to claim their own future with conviction. A group united by shared affirmations is unstoppable. Its collective power multiplies the results for everyone involved. Never underestimate the cumulative effect of this discipline. Each day of spoken intent adds another brick to the foundation of your success. In time, the fortress you build with your words will withstand any storm. There will be days when your confidence wavers, when progress slows, when the voices of doubt grow louder. In those moments, return to your affirmation with renewed energy. Speak it louder, with more feeling, more certainty. Remember, the wealthiest do not achieve because they never falter, but because they always return to their purpose, no matter how many times they are knocked off course. As your wealth grows, remember to remain humble. Your spoken word is a privilege, a tool for service, not just for self-gratification. Use your influence to create value, to uplift others, to leave the world better than you found it. True abundance comes not just from accumulation, but from contribution. As you become living proof of this principle, let your life be the evidence that wealth, opportunity, and fulfillment are available to any who will dare to declare their intentions with courage and follow through with unbreakable discipline. At the end of your journey, when you look back on all you have built, you will see that every triumph, every opportunity, every breakthrough can be traced to the words you chose to speak and the consistency with which you live them. Your fortune is the sum total of your spoken intentions, multiplied by your daily actions and reinforced by your unwavering belief. This is the legacy of those who speak their goals into existence. Unshakable confidence, inexhaustible opportunity, and the freedom to shape life on their own terms. Today is the only day you have. Begin now. Declare your intention with force and clarity. Let every word be a command to yourself and an invitation to the world. Take action, however small, in perfect harmony with your affirmation. Build momentum. Keep going when others would quit. Refuse to let circumstance dictate your destiny. The wealthiest people are those who refuse to settle for less than their vision. Join their ranks, not by waiting for a sign, but by becoming the sign. Be the voice, the architect, the relentless force that calls your future into being, until what you speak is what you live, and what you live becomes a beacon for all who wish to follow. You have within you now the power to transform thought into gold, to speak life into your ambitions, and to create a fortune that honors your highest self. Guard this power. Use it wisely. And remember always, the world listens to the one who speaks with conviction and acts with integrity. Write your legacy in bold, spoken declarations. Etch your destiny with disciplined, daily action. This is the way of the wealthiest. This is now your way, your code, your advantage. Speak your goals into existence, and never stop until the world calls you one of its greatest creators.